is something we've been doing every single Monday night at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time for the last 26 weeks, and we will continue. This week, I have the honor of introducing two of the biggest inspirations to me throughout this business journey, Isagenix health journey that I've been on for the last 3.5 years. I first saw Audrey Moss when she was still Moss in San Diego at my very first celebration event. And then last year, she married the love of her life, James. And I was actually at Celebration this year. I got to give him a shout out. I was sitting in front of the room of 15,000 people waiting for Tony Robbins to come on. And I turned around and see this guy arm in arm with another guy in the middle of a prayer. And I was like, that is what I'm here for. And I immediately had to reach out to him. I snapped a picture of it, kind of creepy like. I sent it to him. I was like, man, I got to get this guy on our call. This is the reason I do this. And so Audrey was actually one of the speakers at our celebration event. She spoke on interest and creating interest on Facebook and in person and all that good stuff. So she was an inspiration to a lot of folks there as well. And her brother's getting married this weekend, which is awesome. Congrats to your brother. That's going to be exciting. But without further ado, I'm excited to be able to introduce you to James and Audrye Mcleod. They are super big Isagenix business builders. They are the top income producers in our age bracket for the whole company. So that's pretty huge. But without further ado, James and Audrey, I got a few questions to ask you and just wanted to welcome you to our community here.
Well, thank you so much for asking and for having us on. We're so honored just to get to experience your team, to meet you guys, and really just kind of serve however we can.
Yeah, we're so honored. We're so happy to be here and to serve and to give whatever insights and answer any questions that you have for us. So thank you so much for asking us to be on this call tonight.
We seriously can't thank you enough. I mean, we've been, like Colton mentioned before y'all hopped on, he's like, this is the couple that I pictured whenever we started these calls. This is the couple we wanted on. So thank you so much. So let's just start into it. Let's just go into basically why Isagenix for you guys. Like why this company? Why did you decide to do this? And if you don't mind, kind of incorporate your stories along with that, please.
Yeah. Well, for me, Audrey got started first. She got started a couple months or about a year, I guess, before I did. But really the reason why I wanted to get, why I even looked into this was just because I was so directionless in life. I had gone through all these different scenarios in my head of how I could design life on my own terms, how I could work for myself or work for an amazing boss that would kind of let me leave whenever I wanted, or this whole picture perfect thing that I think a lot of us understand to not really be real, if you don't, especially if you aren't thinking about network marketing or Isagenix in particular. But when I got exposed to this, I said, okay, that's it. That's what I want. I know I can work for myself. I can work for wherever I'm at, helping people, giving them an amazing product and service, meeting people from all over the world, which is what I love. And it really just fit into my passion of wanting to serve and help other people while being able to create something for myself and not being tied down by a job or having to work a certain number of hours a week for me. So that was why I really fell into it and fell in love with it, honestly.
And for me, I was a nanny for Herb and Patty Cepeda for 2 years. They're top earners in the company of Isagenix. And for 2 years, I watched their life transform and change. And I watched them transform other people's lives. I saw the efficacy of the nutrition. I saw the business model. I saw how normal people were making an extraordinary income. And so I said no to Isagenix and for 2 years, and I gained 35 pounds. And I said, okay, I'm going to try it only for the money back guarantee. Because I didn't believe in the products at this point because I'd never put them in my body. And it's really hard to talk about something you don't personally really believe in. But within 4 days, I really believed in these products. And because I saw what was possible, and hear this, for all of you who are on this call who may not be experiencing this huge financial breakthrough, look at our story to know that it's possible. And if we can do this, and you have a work ethic and you're coachable and you're willing to go through the ropes in the course and embrace your journey, there will be nothing you cannot accomplish. So when I said yes to Isagenix, I said yes because I knew that it was possible. Herb and Patty paved the way. And when I saw other people pave the way, and I looked at those people and I said, okay, there's nothing that separates me from them, except for maybe age. But that didn't matter because I knew if I just stuck around long enough, I was bound to catch a little bit of spark, a little bit of fire at some point. It had to happen, okay? I was not going to take no for an answer. And so really, really, when I think about Isagenix, this is your first company. You've nowhere else to look. We have the gold. This is it. There is no company on the planet that will offer the efficacy of the nutrition that you're going to get with our Isagenix products. And I will tell you this, hands down, there is no other company on the planet that empowers people like James and myself at 22 years old to have a compensation plan that would empower anybody at any age, any educational background to go as big, as far, and as high as you want to go. And so we're excited because we really feel like we're just beginning. We really feel like we haven't even yet scraped the surface on what's possible in regards to you, in regards to us, in regards to people in general. So we're grateful and we're so excited because, oh my gosh, Isagenix has just blessed our life. God is so good and we're so thankful. So
That's awesome. How powerful is that? I just love hearing you guys speak. Like, it's just energy, and that's what it takes. I mean, it takes having a knowledge around it, understanding where the potential lies, and just being passionate about it. And you two embrace that. It's amazing to hear you speak. Next, can you kind of talk about maybe you just kind of talked about your journey a little bit. When we get into Isagenix, there's a product and a financial side to both, a health and financial side. So can you explain a little bit more about maybe a story that you know of somebody that you have impacted and you've watched them in your course of doing this, maybe how you've impacted somebody's life, either physically or financially?
Yeah, so I think probably one of the most recent and impactful examples is this couple that we met, Lane and Chelsea. Lane Taylor and Chelsea Walker, they're now engaged. It was a beautiful story, but we ran into them actually in a very, very large church when we first moved to Knoxville, a church of several thousand people. And Lane and I just kind of met in this coffee line. He came up to me and he said, "Hey man, I've followed you and your wife's journey for a while now, and I kind of want to just sit down and see what you do and hear about it." And I was like, "Awesome, okay." And he does pharmaceutical sales. She's a nurse, so they were incredibly busy, but they wanted something to free them, to give them something not only that they would free them up financially, but that they could do together.
And that could set them up for their future.
Absolutely. And we're finding more and more every day that people, especially people in relationships or in marriages, they want to do something together. They want to do something with their partner or their spouse. And so they said, listen, if this is what actually you say that it is, we get the business model, we see this, but, we've got to put the products in our body first to see, how this works for us. And we said, absolutely. So Lane actually had just come out of labral surgery, so he wasn't even able to work out, and dropped about 7 to 9 pounds of fat in his first really, really short period of time. And Chelsea reduced, inflammation all over her body. They were both fit to begin with,
and this was just in January of this year.
Yeah, this was about 8 months ago. And so they really just caught the vision for what this could be. And they said, okay, if you guys can do this, we can do this. Teach us what to do. Show us how to do it. And you guys, Isagenix makes this so simple for us, don't they? You can go to places like isagenixbusiness.com and learn about all of the different things of how to connect with people, how to share the vision, how to plug them in. And so that's what we did. We just kept it simple. And they enrolled 100 people in their first 100 days with Isagenix. And they shared this because they were their belief in these products and in this company was a 10 out of 10. They got so set on, doing all their research and say, okay, this is it. We get it. There is no other company. We want to do this full on. And so in the past 8 months, they've made over $30,000, and it's almost allowing, Chelsea to go to part-time where they can pursue this more. And it's just been the past 8 months where it's done it. But also to see the ripple effect of this, Lane's dad actually was in a serious kind of health situation where he really needed his body to start functioning better, needless to say. Now, if you're on this line and you're not part of Isagenix yet, hear this. Isagenix can't claim to cure or heal any disease or, remedy anything like that. It's just a superfood nutrition that your body uses to help sort out all of the stuff inside. But his dad has been able now to release over 40 pounds. And he says that he feels better today than he does, probably in the past 2 or 3 decades. And so that's blessed Lane's life tremendously because he gets to give a gift to his dad that he may otherwise have never, given.
So good. And can I share? Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. This is really, really powerful because there's a girl named Shelly Nutt who came into my backyard 3 years ago. 3 years. So Lane and Chelsea's was a very quick, made $30,000 in 8 months. But 3 years ago, Shelly Nutt came into my backyard and she saw the compensation plan because we are firm believers in learning the compensation plan so you can show people what's possible. So if you do not know how to teach the compensation plan, when you get off of this call, learn how to draw it out. Because when you learn how to draw it out, it will change your entire business. So we shared with her the compensation plan, and she's been consistent, just plugging in and consistent every single day with doing the do, connecting with new people, enrolling them, moving them up the ranks. She has a huge, huge passion for flipping houses. She just bought her first house in entirely the money that she's made from Isagenix commissions. Her entire house that she bought to flip, she purchased solely from the money that was on her Isagenix ISA wallet. And this is the coolest part. She just signed a contract because she's going on the show First Time Flippers. And she's going on that show First Time Flippers and with the house that she's flipping, completely what she's earned from Isagenix. So it's really, really powerful. It's taken her 3 years. She just accumulated the money. She's a 2-star golden circle, meaning she cycles anywhere up to 20 cycles a week. She just hit 2-star golden circle, but it's really powerful because this has been a dream of hers for so long, and she was able to fulfill that dream because of Isagenix.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible. That's amazing. And I know there's a lot of folks on here who have been around for that long, and there's people, I've been doing this 3.5 years, and it's people who are new, people who are old. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to write your story like the way you think it should be written. I mean, you have a direction and a goal, but it may be completely different from what you expect. And timing, like we talked about, we have a very fast-paced story and we have a more slower-paced story, but it doesn't matter. As long as you keep your direction and focus, you have the potential to get there, which is amazing. You talked a little bit about building as a couple. Couples want to do something together. I know we have some couples on here. Can you shed any insight into how it is being able to work a business with your husband or your wife?
Best! We really love it. Fortunately, James and I were best friends before we ever started dating. And so we were business partners long before we ever thought we would ever be together. And then when we started dating, he built a very, very successful business in Isagenix without me. And I built a very successful business in Isagenix without him. Now, obviously, we were on the same team, but he built it separately and I built it separately. And then when we started dating, we still built it separately. It wasn't until we were married that we decided to combine everything. And so it's really powerful, and it's something that we've had to learn and grow in because he's a very powerful leader. And I am the same. We are both leaders, but we've had to really learn how to use each other's strengths. He is really, really great at teaching and coaching people through the products. He is so great at walking people through the box and listening and asking questions. He's a master connector, and it's one of his strong suits. He is so incredible with people, whereas I am really, really great at saying, hey, you have this goal, I'm going to push you up the ranks right now this fast. Product coaching isn't my strength. I'm just being honest. It's not the thing that I get extremely excited about. I say, you are Crystal Manager. We're going to get you there tonight. And so it's been this beautiful understanding of the both of us of pointing out what our strong suits are and allowing each other to come into this space of saying, okay, Aud, you're really great at pushing people up the ranks. And James, you're really, really great at connecting with people. you are the best when it comes to finding out what makes their heart come alive. You are the best at product coaching. You are the best at walking people through their system and giving them a better understanding of what this is. Now we just need to glean off of each other's strengths and to say, instead of saying, Audrey, you're going to do everything. James, you're going to do everything, because then still our energies are being separated. Instead of our energies being separated, we've learned, and we're learning how to come together as one.
And we're also in a really unique situation in that we're both building this full time. Whereas most couples we talk to, they're either both full time working and they're working Isagenix into part time, or one of them is working full time and the other one is a stay at home mom or something like that who gets to build it at home. And so, in that case, obviously the roles are going to be different, because one person is going out and really providing money for the household and, making ends meet and all that stuff while the Isagenix business is being built. So there is a transfer, if you will, of energy, and there's a fluidity with it all. Meaning, in one season, we might really, focus our energy in one place, and then in another season, focus it in another. And so I think, for us, it works out great because we want to be together every single day. That's why I married her. I didn't sign up for this just to be apart, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. So for us, it's the ideal life. It's perfect. We've got to, communicate, say, okay, what do we got to do today? What are you doing? What am I doing? Who are you working with? Who am I working with? Let's go. Break. And we do that. And it's a learning process. We haven't mastered it. We just got married obviously a year ago, but man, is it an absolute dream for us. It really is.
And my encouragement for couples out there is that you would have really, really great communication with your spouse or your partner of what your expectations are and what your strengths are. Like, we are really, really, really we communicate a lot with each other in the sense of, hey, I don't really like doing this. Hey, I really love doing this. And him telling me what he really likes. And then the expectations, because sometimes James is pulling 90% of it and I'm doing 10. And then sometimes I'm doing 40 and he's doing 60%. And then sometimes I'm doing 80% and he's doing 20. But us understanding that we're a team and that I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for him. And he wouldn't be able to do what he was going to do if it wasn't for me. And so setting the expectations out there immediately and having communication with your spouse on how you're feeling, what your expectations are, what you feel like your strengths are, what you feel like you're not so strong at. That way, you guys can come together, because what we've noticed is we are so much more effective when him and I are on the same playing field, when him and I are on 100% of understanding communication. Whose auto ships are going out this week? Okay, have you connected with them? No. Have you? No, we need to communicate with them. We need to connect with them. So just being like understanding and really having that foundation of communication in regards to your relationship, it's really, really important, especially if you might be on this line and you're building this full time and your spouse isn't, but they're supportive of you. Just having that constant communication of where you're at is really, really important.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's great. And I know that there's a lot of couples on here, a lot of people that, even if you're not a couple, you can still find a partner within your team that you could work on these skills with. Figure out what they're good about and what you're good at, and then maybe use each other to bounce ideas off of, three-way calls, that kind of thing. So, I mean, for the people who are single who don't have a partner that they're with all the time, it's still a great option as well.
Yeah.
Next thing I want to ask is, you've built some huge organizations. Your team's huge. How do you stay organized? Like you mentioned, have you contacted this person today? How have you done this today? How do you stay organized? What are your techniques?
So, I mean, for us, we're different. We're different people, but I think that goes with everybody. Some people work better with spreadsheets. Some people work better with just a pen and a paper and having a notebook. We both work better, I think, with notebooks and scheduling out, writing it out. But the bottom line is, you've got to find out what works with you, and you've got to stick with that. So for me, I write down every single person that I connect with and the date that I've connected with them, every single person, because every single person in my eyes is somebody that could potentially be interested in Isagenix. Everybody I meet, and even if I haven't brought in Isagenix initially, I want to write their name down so I can have it. So I write their name down. We have a whiteboard where we write our leaders. We write when auto ships are going out so that we can see it every day. And, obviously we were checking our back office, the
blueprints,
and whatnot every day to see what's coming up, who's rank advancing, who's about to hit consultant, all of that stuff. But what we've learned in this is that it's important to find your way. The top leaders, they could all tell you a different way of how
and they all will, yeah,
of what system works best with them. There isn't one that works better than the other. It's just that, being organized is being able to find something in a short amount of time. And if you can find something on your phone and know where it is in a short amount of time, then you're organized. I lose stuff in my phone. I don't know where it went. I write a note and then it's 5,000 notes away. And I'm like, I can't find this note. So find out what works with you. It doesn't have to be what the person to your left or the person to your right is doing. But as long as you can keep that information where you're serving people well and you're being efficient with your follow-ups and all that, that's really all that matters.
And we use, just like James was saying, both him and I, we write things out for us. I am not an Excel spreadsheet type of girl. My brain is in 50 million different directions all throughout the day, so I love to write. We have whiteboards like he was saying, but we really, really utilize our back office. I go through and I will click on our leaders, or I will click on the people and I will look at what their volume is. I will look at how many cycles they've had and I'll write it down and I'll connect with them and I'll ask them what their goals are. I've tried several different things, and what works for me and my personality and my brain the most is writing things down in a notebook and keeping it like that, because this business is ever changing. Your leaders are evolving. You have new leaders that pop up. So it's easiest for us to just write everything down, and we check our back office daily, several times a day. We see the new enrollments that are coming in. We look at our blueprints. We see who are the new associates. We look at who is potential consultants and managers, directors, and executives. We look at those. That way we know who do we need to push this week.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great point. That's something I've struggled with. I've tried different techniques and everybody's always asking you, but I think you got to be consistent. I think that's the word that we're trying to hit home right here, is just be consistent with whatever you do. So we got about 5 minutes left. We talked a lot about the business, a lot about the opportunity, a lot about kind of technique throughout that. What does your day look like as far as products go? Like, what is your typical day? I know everybody can use this system kind of differently, but what is your typical day like?
So for me, I feel like I consume 80% Isagenix all day. It's awesome. So I personally, I love the Isagenix coffee. Anybody else love the coffee?
I do.
I'm a huge fan of coffee. So if you haven't tried it, does anybody have the mocha, the seasonal shake mocha flavor? Okay, if you do, tomorrow morning, try your Isagenix coffee with a scoop of mocha. It's amazing. So I start every day off with that. The AM Essentials. We both use a performance line, so sometimes we'll have AMP or E-Shot before going and working out. I have probably 2 to 3 Isoline Pros every day, and
Ionics, Green.
Yeah, I have cleanse. I do a nightly cleanse, so I have cleanse every night before I go to bed. The greens, the whey thins. I mean, you name it, we're eating it on a daily basis. Yeah. The bars, we love the bars, super convenient. So I like to space mine out, but I'll usually have that's really what I'm consuming on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I'm always changing. I feel like in the beginning, I've been with Isagenix now for 5 years. In January, I will have been building this business, and so 5 years ago, I would drink 2 shakes a day and just like 1 meal, and that was all I would eat. And now I've understood a lot more about nutrition. So I'll have an E-Shot in the morning, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll have a shake right afterwards. And then 3 hours later, I'm eating, another small meal with protein and good carbs. And then I'll have another Isagenix shake, and I put greens inside my shake. I eat and drink the Ionics, both James and I, depending on how we're doing. Sometimes I do 2 to 3 servings of Ionics a day. I put the Ionics in my shakes. We eat the whey thins. We eat the bars. We eat the snacks. We drink the Cleanse for Life. There isn't an Isagenix product that we are not
consuming.
The sleep
spray.
I use the sleep spray every single night.
Body wash.
I can't, the body wash, the lotion. And here's something that I'm really, just like James was saying, I'm really learning about our skin and it being, what is it, 80%?
Probably more. Yeah, it's the largest organ in the body.
The skin is the largest organ, and so if I'm gonna I have to get lotion and body wash anyway. So I might as well get Isagenix where it's the VV that I'm going to accumulate. And I use that as well because I really want to just continue making steps forward every single day and every single year with my health. And so there isn't a product that we're not eating. There isn't a product we're not consuming. I drink way too many shots a day because I love them. They're my favorite. It's my favorite product. So there isn't a product we don't use. It's our business. It's our bodies. It's our life. It is leading us up for years and years of more mental clarity, of better health. And so we see it as it's just a non-negotiable. We have to just consume as much as we can a day. We love it. It tastes delicious. And honestly, we save money at the grocery store because of it. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, there's not anything that I don't use that that I don't like, and I wish they still had the soups and all that stuff. I mean, they had a ton of stuff, but I still use every bit of it. It's awesome. I'm a 2 to 3 Isoline Pro shakes a day guy. I mean, I can't go without my shakes. That's awesome. Thank you all for sharing that. And how excited are y'all for Celebration in Nashville next year?
Woo! We are fired up. Our team is just is over the moon about it. We are really excited. We already are planning for it, and we're gonna bring it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I'm actually from South Carolina originally. I'm from upstate, so Nashville's like 7 or 8 hours from my hometown. So my mom's actually on the call. Yeah. So my mom's on the call. She's already planning how she's gonna get all of her folks there, and I'm gonna be coming to Colorado. So it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
That's
awesome.
So great.
It's gonna be awesome. So, well, thank you. We're right here at the 7 o'clock hour. So does anybody have any questions real quick? If not, it's we're at our, I want to make sure we respect everybody's time. So if anybody has any questions, feel free. We got time for maybe one. But
thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. When I turned around and saw you standing there praying in the middle of celebration before Tony Robbins come on, I was like, man, this is the culture that I want to be around, man. And that was awesome. And I appreciate you just being that open and just it's amazing. I mean, this culture and this community has brought me closer to some of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from me as far as outside of the health aspect of Isagenix. It's the people that I get to meet, like you and Audrey. And I really do respect you too. I know everybody on this call does. So,
you know what? We would just like to share that every single morning we wake up, and before we look at our phones and before we do anything, we pray and we ask God to bring us connections. We ask God to lead us to people who want this opportunity. And I know James and I attribute everything that we've been able to have to the Lord because he's so good and he loves us so much. And so thank you so much for saying that. I know James, he's just wonderful. He loves people so well. So what you saw of him it's who he is every day, everywhere he goes. And so
awesome.
we're really grateful, and we really appreciate you asking us to be on this call and to be able to love and serve your team.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to see y'all again at the next big event, and I appreciate it. Y'all have fun this weekend at the wedding and celebrating your brother. I know that's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to the pictures. So y'all have a great evening, and thanks again.
Absolutely.
Have a great night,
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.